Dear monks, a monk dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. He dwells contemplating feelings in feelings, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. He dwells contemplating mind in mind, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, or recollected, having removed covetousness and displeasure or grief in regard to the world. He dwells contemplating Dhamma in Dhamma, ardent, clearly comprehending, recollected, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. Stop here for a moment. So here you can see what is this satipatthana. Satipatthana is contemplating the body in the body, contemplating feelings in feelings, contemplating mind in mind, and contemplating Dhamma in Dhamma. In other words, satipatthana, when you practice satipatthana, you only contemplate four things, not any other thing. That's why it has got to do with remembering. To remember, to put your mindfulness only on four objects. Because if you don't remember, then your mind will start wandering out to the sixth sense doors and all that. So instead of putting your mind wherever it likes to drift, you pull it back only to be mindful of four things. That's why the quality of remembering, to remember to put your mindfulness only on four things. So why does it say contemplating the body in the body? I think what it means is that your mindfulness is centered on the body, not among thoughts and all that. Sometimes, if you are contemplating one thing, your mind can stray, and at the same time you can contemplate other things. So in which case, you are contemplating one object among other objects. But if you contemplate one object, in that object only, your mind does not stray. It's fully focused on one thing only. Sometimes, for example, if we are practicing mindfulness of the breath, we can be contemplating on our breath. But if your mind is not strongly focused on the breath, it starts to wander. You're still aware of your breath in, out, but you also at the same time you're thinking of your office work, thinking of your family, all these things. So that is not totally focused. So the idea here is that body in the body means totally focused on one and only one object. Ardent. Here the obvious is clearly comprehending, mindful. These two words in this translation always refers to two Pali words. Clearly comprehending means clearly aware, and that is the translation for sampajanya. And this word mindful here, that's the translation for sati, so which we translate as recollected, because sati is also recollection. So you can see mindful, recollected, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. This one I explained before, covetousness and grief in regard to the world. This arises when you crave for sensual objects like sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touch, thoughts. So when you crave for it, you have this covetousness. You want to covet it, you want to possess it. And then if you cannot get it, then displeasure or grief arises. So on the one hand, there's one person who can get what he wants. He continues to want to possess something. On the other hand, if he cannot get it, then displeasure or grief arises. So in other words, this person, if he wants to practice his sati, he gives up the things connected with the world. He does not want to covet, possess things in the world, so that no grief arises. So similarly, he dwells contemplating feelings in feelings, mind in mind, and Dhamma in Dhamma. Here, Dhamma is translated as phenomena. But as we saw the other day when we went through the chapter on the Bojjhangas, it was stated how to practice the 7 Bojjhangas. First, you draw near to an Aryan or Arahan if possible. And then you learn the Dhamma from him. Having learned the Dhamma from him, then you recollect the Dhamma, that is Sati. You recollect the Dhamma. And then after you recollect the Dhamma, you start investigating the Dhamma. It's the investigation of states. So, although we have these four objects of Sati here, or Satipatthana, actually the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha are the most important, because I mentioned before, there are only 5 occasions when a person becomes enlightened, becomes an Arahant, and 4 of them have to do with the Dhamma. The first one is listening to the Dhamma, he becomes liberated. Second one is teaching the Dhamma. Third one is repeating the Dhamma. Fourth is reflecting on the Dhamma. Then only the last is during meditation. So the Buddha's Dhamma is extremely important. So here Dhamma should not be phenomenal, it should be the Buddha's Dhamma. This, monks, is the one-way path for the purification of beings, for the overcoming sorrow and lamentation, for the passing away of pain and displeasure, for the achievement of the method, for the realization of Nibbana, that is, the 4 Satipatthanas, 4 intense states of recollection. This is what the Blessed One said. Elated, those monks delighted in the Blessed One's statement. That's the end of this sutta. So, this sutta, I think, is the first part of the Satipatthana Sutta. So this is the basic, gives you a basic idea of the practice of Satipatthana, that you only contemplate 4 things.